Moby Dick, or The Whale, seems to be one of Tarman's favorite novels. As the name suggests, it's a story about a white sperm whale named Moby Dick. Captain Ahab, one of the main characters, uses a prosthetic leg made of whalebone to replace the one Moby Dick took long ago. He's obsessed with getting revenge against the whale, which he hates with a terrible passion, all while nursing the phantom pain of his lost leg. In the end, Ahab fails to exact vengeance on his foe and is dragged into the sea. His crew's only survivor is Ishmael, the book's narrator. He was rescued after clinging desperately to a coffin-shaped life buoy. That's right, a coffin was his savior. Ironic, isn't it? How you use a thing makes all the difference. On a dark night in May 1816, 3 men and 2 women found themselves confined to a villa on the shore of Lake Geneva. A catastrophic volcanic eruption had wrought havoc on the global climate, and a relentless rain hammered down outside. With little else to do, the occupants of the villa decided to compose ghost stories. And it was on this fateful night that a woman named Mary penned what would become Frankenstein. Mary, who was only 18 years of age, had already lived a tumultuous life. She was engaged in an affair with the poet Percy Bysshe Shelley at the time, whom she would later go on to marry. A dramatic retelling of these events was committed to film prior to the death Stranding. Titled Mary Shelley, it stars Elle Fanning in the lead role. Now, where have I heard that name before? The Voyage of the Beagle. Written, of course, by one Charles Darwin. Speaking of which, before the Death Stranding, there was a city in the northern part of Australia called Darwin, named as such after the Beagle made a brief stop there. Darwin was able to devote so much time and effort to his research of evolution because he enjoyed the support of the elite, specifically the Wedgwood family, pottery makers to the royal household. In fact, Darwin's maternal grandfather was the founder of Wedgwood. You can't get a better patron than that, now can you? I suppose if you think about it, Wedgwood was to Darwin as Charlie is to us. The Pequod is the ship in which Ahab pursues Moby Dick on his quest for vengeance. His crew includes Dutchmen, Frenchmen, Spaniards, Portuguese, Icelanders, as well as shipmates from China and India. Countless other people of myriad origins, too. It is arguably symbolic of the multiracial United States. A gathering of souls that transcends ethnic and national divisions, united in pursuit of a singular goal. I can't help but be reminded of Kojima Productions. Wait, judging by your reaction, you've never heard of Kojima Productions? Sam, you can't be serious. The gathering of storytellers that spawned Mary Shelley's Frankenstein gave rise to yet another legendary creature of horror fiction. I speak, of course, of the vampire. A physician named Polidori was also in attendance that evening, and he later unveiled his creation in a new novel. As I may have mentioned before, the summer of that year was unusually cold. In Europe alone, 200,000 people are said to have perished as a result. Could it be that a widespread fear that the world might be coming to an end served as inspiration for two classic monsters? I find it a compelling theory. Apparently, Darwin always had a strong interest in geology. He was fascinated by the way continents and landforms change, leading to the creation of new habitats for organisms. This led him to surmise that organisms adapted to their new environments in order to thrive. And that logic eventually became the basis of his theory of evolution. The world around us continues to change, even now. The continents are in flux due to the shifting tar currents and the emergence of plate gates. Is it possible these changes might also spur life to develop and adapt in unforeseen ways? Certain parallels can be drawn between Captain Ahab's pursuit and the Prometheus myth. Prometheus is a deity said to have stolen fire from the heavens in order to give it to humans. In essence, he bestowed upon them the power of the gods themselves. This power manifested as technology. Humans crafted tools, and with them brought nature to heal and built great civilizations. Perhaps the author intended to frame Ahab's pursuit of the white whale as one akin to mankind's struggle against the forces of nature. We ourselves are arguably living out our own Prometheus myth as we fight to overcome the Death Stranding. No, we definitely are. And we're not about to lose. It should be noted that the monster's name is not Frankenstein, nor was it ever given a proper name. Frankenstein is the name of its creator and the story's protagonist, Victor Frankenstein. Through its many movie adaptations, the image of the disturbing and unstable patchwork creature has grown ever more vivid. And in the process, the misconception that it was called Frankenstein was born. In the original novel, however, it was an intelligent, human-like being that craved acceptance. A clever, gentle giant cobbled together from others, not unlike our dead man, don't you think? And while he doesn't appear in Shelley's original work, in several movies, Frankenstein is joined by a rather memorable assistant named Igor. Igor and Victor. Now, where have I heard those two names before? Oh, reading that one again, are we? It must be quite the page-turner. The HMS Beagle, which was instrumental in Darwin's development of his theory of evolution, eventually came to symbolize adventures and explorers of new worlds. Spaceships in science fiction novels would bear the name, as well as actual ships developed in real life. You know, Sam, when our Australian journey is finally complete, we could ask Charlie to build us our own personal vessel. Yes, we should. Let's do that. It'll be fun. It goes without saying that we'll have to call it the Beagle.
Oh, and you must let me be the captain, all right? I won't budge on this. I refuse. Woo-hoo-hoo! Looking clean as a whistle.
Sam, I think it's high time we get going. All this relaxation is no good for my sciatica.
Feels good.
Security measures lifted. Weapons detected. Be advised that usage is restricted inside facility grounds.
Decontamination in progress. Telecom waste detected. Weapons safe.
Let's get a move on.
Drawbridge, I presume. Yeah, you seem like the genuine article. Welcome. Hope it wasn't too hard to track. I'll just need a moment to check your cargo. No denying this is in fine condition. How about that? You have been making a real difference around here. Keep it up, all right? All right. Go ahead and put us on the chiral network.
Now displaying your current order grade.
So we've been linked up, at last. There's also the necrobiotes you brought us as well. Feels like we finally turned a corner.
For our part, we've shared data for some custom vehicle components, as well as some sturdy combat boots. I'm sure the vehicle parts in particular will come in handy for combat and cargo retrieval. You need all the help you can get, because those armed survivalists waiting for you out east are far more dangerous foes than the brigands. They're a bunch of fools who won't hesitate to kill people, with no shortage of lethal weaponry. Though I'll be damned if I know where they got it. Make sure you're prepared before you head their way. Speaking of which, those combat boots ought to add some serious power to your kicks. You might want to equip a pair if you intend on getting up close and personal. We've uploaded some schematics for pickup off-roader parts. One of them is a heavy machine gun. It automatically acquires and fires at targets in range. It uses MP bullets for added versatility. It's effective not only against human enemies like armed survivalists, but BTs as well. The other part is a sticky cannon. When mounted, it independently scans for cargo in the vehicle's vicinity and collects it. You'll find it makes rounding up dropped cargo easier than ever. And who wouldn't want that? Pickup off-roaders can be equipped with 2 parts like these simultaneously. So choose whatever's best for the situation at hand. They're not something just anyone should be messing with. Their affinity with the dead makes them dangerous. But that's also why we can use them to prevent the dead from attacking us. With that kind of power at our disposal, we can put people's minds at ease. Could solve all kinds of problems, I'm sure. Some people have called me that. A while back, we had a situation with this group that went around looting whatever supplies they felt like. And I was the boxing champ who went up against these guys and sent them all packing with nothing but his bare fists. That's the story they tell, but it sure as hell ain't the truth. I didn't charge gallantly into battle and beat the shit out of them. I approached them in peace so we could work it out. I asked why they were stealing from other people, and they said it was because they didn't have the skills to live any other way. So I taught them other ways to survive. Trained them a bit. Nothing more than that, really. In the end, all we had to do was talk to each other. They weren't like the other riffraff you find around here. And they're still here. In fact, working in this facility. If anyone around here deserves to be called a hero, it's you, Sam. I mean, you're the one trekking across Australia trying to bring everyone together. Anyway, right now, we're trying to develop equipment tailored to close combat specialists. If we succeed, anyone will be capable of fighting as well as the so-called Golden Fist. Feel free to lend a hand if our project interests you. Thanks again. We're glad to have you in our corner. With your support, we'll be able to do so much more for others. Stay strong and keep doing your thing. We're in this fight together.
Sam, you're the best. Now get yourself back to the DHV Magellan and take a load off. Just so you know, tomorrow's been doing much better. Pay her a visit when you can, okay?
Order completed. Well done. Safe travels.
Disengaging weapons restrictions.
Take care, Sam.
Let's get a move on.
Raindrops are falling on my head. Oh, just a little longer, okay? Raindrops are falling on my head. And just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. You know this song? So I just did me some talking to the sun. And I said I didn't like the way he got things done. Sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know. The blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Okay. all
Raindrops
done.
keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red.
Looking clean as a whistle.
All right, Sam. What do you say we head out and get to work?
So you made it out okay. Those tremors were intense, but we're doing fine here. I think West Fort Knott got the worst of it, though. Your cargo has already been prepared. If you could deliver it to West Fort Knott as quickly as you can, that'd be great. We need to support each other at times like these, so pick up the priority order from the delivery terminal right away. I'm counting on you, Sam.
Order accepted. Thank you.